My next guest is a renowned pastor, speaker, best-selling author who was named the most influential leadership expert in the entire world by Business Insider and Inc. magazine. His new book is called Leader Shift, the 11 essential changes that every leader must embrace. Would you please welcome a wonderful leader himself, John C. Maxwell. John, welcome.
Nice to be with you, Mike. Great to see you. Great to be with you.
We're going to talk about the book Leader Shift, but before we do, I want to talk about this one. This thing is heavy. You almost got a hernia hold in this one. But what a great, the Maxwell Leadership Bible. Tell me a little bit about what's in here other than, of course, the Bible.
Well, you know, for 25 years I was a pastor and loved leadership. So what I did is when I would teach the Word, every time I would be able to bring out a leadership passage, I would have a message on it, et cetera. And so when my publisher one time said, you know, you've spoken so much on leadership, could you just tie it in with the scriptures? And so I put all my old messages in there. And the first time we put about 200 lessons on leadership, all from the Word. And then we revised it, went up to 400, and we just revised it, and we went up to 600. I've got all kind of Bible character stories. And you know, Mike, what's really beautiful is everything I know about leadership is from the Bible. Everything. Yeah. And so when I'm in the secular business world, sometimes they'll ask me a question. They'll say, like, well, who's the greatest leader? I'll say, well, I'm a person of faith, but I think Jesus is. And then I'll share with them. I'll say, the things I've been teaching you all day are all from the Bible. They'll have this kind of this look like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Then what I'll do is I'll say, now, but really everything you know about leadership is from the Bible too. And I'll say, go ahead and give me your favorite leadership quote or a leadership principle. And they'll do it. And I'll say, well, now, biblically, that's where you'll find this. Because really, everything I do know about leadership is right here from the Bible. And so it's the Word of God, but every page has more a leadership lesson on it. And it's just great. If a person wants to grow spiritually and be a good spiritual leader, it's a great resource.
Well, no wonder it's so heavy, thinking of all the stuff that's in there.
It's got all this.
But you just said something. I mean, I've always admired because you have an incredible avenue to the greatest corporations. You speak to more Fortune 500 companies than anybody alive. Yeah. Nobody speaks to more of them. You talk to the top companies across the world on leadership and management, and yet you do it from this biblical perspective, not in an overt way where you're in their face, but you're getting that message out. What you just said, though, that the great leadership lessons come from all of them. The Bible.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I go to help them, I value them. And so I go to really help them as far as their company and, with leadership principles. But what I'm really trying to do is gain respect so that I'll have an opportunity sometime to have a relationship so that I'll have an opportunity to share my faith. And I'm very intentional about it. And we have a lot of opportunities now through our different companies to do this. And last year, we're kind of excited about this. Last year, not in churches or, just in the corporate, the secular world, business world, through our organizations, we saw 148,000 people come to Christ.
Wow.
Isn't that beautiful, huh?
I mean,
that's exciting.
John,
not bad.
There are entire denominations who would like to have that kind of thing.
Yeah, not bad.
No, it's not just not bad, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it really shows, though, that God has given you favor. I mean, every book you ever write becomes a New York Times #1 bestseller. It just goes to the top of the charts. You're one of those people that whenever you put something out, business leaders across the globe say, I got to have it. If John Maxwell is saying it, that brings us to the new book, Leader Shift, which I love the title. You are so good at titling and branding. Leader Shift. And there's a statement in there I want you to expand upon. You say that our real goal is not to be ladder climbers, but ladder holders.
Oh, yes.
Boy, you gotta unpack that for me.
Okay, well, I love that chapter because I say that we all kind of start off as ladder climbers. We get our job, our career, and we want to do our best, so we go climbing up that ladder. But first of all, I always tell people, if you're climbing up the ladder, make sure that when you get to the top, it's leaning against the right building. A lot of times, Mike, we're just kind of climbing, and all of a sudden we find out that we went high, but we lost our purpose. So anyway, we start off as a ladder climber. But there's more to life than me building my career. So I go from ladder climber to say, well, you know what? I want to help Mike. I want to add value to him, so I become a ladder holder. And I say, can I hold your ladder so that what happens is you can climb a little higher because I'm helping you. But then if I watch you and you really do good while I'm holding your ladder, then I say, okay, I'm going to be a ladder extender for you because I think you have even more potential. And I basically say, you know, extend that ladder, let him go higher. But the ultimate leader shift is when I go from climbing my own ladder to becoming a ladder builder for someone else. And that's when I empower them and I bless them and I say, hey, look, you have gifts. You need to live your dream and let me bless you as you live that dream. And I have found that in my life, that has really been the way it works. You know, I climbed my ladder and kind of held the ladder, but boy, when I can build ladders for other people, that's kind of like, that's the ultimate.
I mean, your whole life has been about building leaders, but in the book Leader Shift, you really do focus upon the shifting that people need to do to a different way of thinking about leadership. If you could sum it up, what are we missing about leadership that would change our lives if we better shifted in that direction?
Well, I think we think leadership is a noun. It's a position, it's a title, and it's really a verb. And what a great leader is a great leader looks and sees opportunity for himself or herself and the people, and they're always doing the things that they're adjustable, they're adaptable because they realize that the moment comes as a leader and you have to seize that moment right then. And when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. And so leader shifting is all about how to be secure enough in yourself to make changes and to make adjustments, sometimes forward, sometimes backwards, but making adjustments that will allow you to maximize the opportunity to help people, add value to people, and lead them successfully.
In the thousands of different principles that you have shared on leadership, have you ever found one that, as you look back over a long career, you said, I got to repeal that one? That one, I don't still want to. Any of them that you would ever say?
Confession time now. Okay, confession time. When I wrote the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, one of the laws was the law of E.F. Hutton. Remember the old commercial when E.F. Hutton speak? People listen, you know, okay? So I thought that was such a neat law. And then I started traveling internationally, teaching the 21 laws. And when I do the law of E.F. Hutton, they just kind of look at me. And they didn't have a clue what it was.
Who is E.F. Hutton?
And so the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership book that I wrote, when I revised it, I had to take out one of the irrefutable laws of leadership because it was refutable.
Well, it was irrefutable in America.
Yeah. So I found another irrefutable law and put it in there. So I stayed with 21, but they weren't quite as irrefutable as I thought they were.
What's your greatest joy that you have now? I mean, it's not like you need a book to write or a place to speak. You got more than you can possibly do, but there's still got to be something that motivates you because the energy in you is amazing.
Well, I'm very grateful. I love adding value to people. If you really look at the life of Jesus, Mike, and you go through the Gospels, when you come at the end, the thing you have to say about Jesus is how much he valued people. He just really valued, people that you and I kind of say, oh, why are you valuing these people? But, he valued everyone. And I love, if you value people, the next step automatically is to add value to them. Now, if I don't value people, I may manipulate them and do wrong things as a leader, but the moment I value people, then the next thing I say is, well, how can I add value to you, Mike? And that's where my joy is. I really, I just love watching people get better. And I just love helping people get better and serving them. And the fruit of what happens in our lives, in our leadership, creates anticipation. So this morning I was up at 5 o'clock and I'm writing on my legal pad with my 4-color pen. And people say, well, John, you're really disciplined. I said, no, I'm full of anticipation because I believe God is going to give me something as our right that's going to help somebody. And that's what motivates me. That's what drives me. That's where the energy comes. And the fruit of your life should create anticipation, which allows you to just stay in the game maybe a little bit longer.
Well, you certainly have, but not just that, but you're the Tom Brady of business speakers. You just keep winning Super Bowls, man. It's amazing.
Just throw that ball.
Thanks to John C. Maxwell. The book is brand new one. You got to get it. Leader Shift. And I'm going to shift over to Keith because he's going to tell you exactly where you can find it.
Well, if you're a leader of a business, church, or even your family, I want to encourage you to get John Maxwell's Leader Shift, the 11 essential changes every leader must embrace. You can find it on Amazon or your favorite retailer, along with the just-released 3rd edition of the Maxwell Leadership Bible, which is full of dynamic lessons and key principles for effectively leading others. And for more on John Maxwell and his work, stay connected with him at johnmaxwell.com.